A new Monmouth poll shows former Vice President Joe Biden has lost his lead for the Democratic presidential nomination. Here to talk about this is Travis County GOP Chairman Matt Mackowiak and Abhi Rahman with the Texas Democratic Party. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
So, Abhi, according to this poll, Biden has lost his double-digit lead. Should his campaign be worried?
Well, polls are a snapshot in time, and I think it's the aggregate of polls that you need to really look at here. And you look at that, he's still in the lead in that. The aggregate of polls, though, also shows some very interesting numbers. Like here in Texas, 6 polls in a row have shown Democrats beating or tied with Donald Trump in the state of Texas. 4 polls in a row have shown John Cornyn with a 25 to 37% approval rating, and polls up and down the ballot are showing Texas Democrats with enthusiasm. So you look at it, it's never just one poll that matters. It's the aggregate of polls, and I think that's what really matters for Joe Biden right now. But polls are a snapshot in time, and the next real debate for them to affect these polls is going to be the debate here in Houston.
Matt, with other candidates not making up much ground, will we start seeing more candidates drop out of the race on the Democratic side?
Yeah, I think we will. I want to say there's maybe 20 or 21 candidates remaining. I think a maximum of 12 of them will be in the September and October debates. That means 9 more people, at least 9 won't be in the debates. And I think they're going to basically cease to exist, whether they formally drop out or just sort of get ignored and lose the ability to earn media and raise money and gain support. So the next round of debates is going to be very interesting because if it's 10 candidates, you'll have it on one night. If it's 12, you'll have it on 2 nights. Either way, you're going to have a lot more time, particularly if it's 2 nights with 6 candidates on each stage. Look, with this most recent poll, I was struck by the headline as well. I looked at it and digged into it. And while Monmouth, I think, does do good work on polling, this is not their best work. This is a 300 sample national poll. That is the size sample you would use in a congressional race, not a national poll. So I think this poll is meaningless. A handful of people going in one direction or the other would have changed the numbers significantly. What I would say is I think Warren is clearly in second place, gaining support, basically taking support from Sanders. I think Biden is in first if you look at most of the other national polls. But this thing's very close. It's a 2 or perhaps 3 horse race at this point, but we're still pretty early.
Abhi, we just showed the poll. Both Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have gained at least 5 percentage points in the last month. What have they done to close in on Joe Biden?
I think what people are seeing is the strength of the Democratic candidates. No matter where you stand on the Democratic side of things, you have somebody who represents your values and represents your worldview, and I think that's kind of where they're gaining ground here. You look at it, it's not just them. It's still a wide-open race. Anybody can still win this, and I think at the end of the day, the Democratic nominee is going to be stronger for this type of race than they would be if it was what it was last time, which was basically a coronation. You look at it, we're excited for our candidates. Donald Trump can't poll above 42% in basically any state right now. So whoever our nominee is going to be, we're excited, and we think that they're going to be able to take the victory in 2020.
Matt, what is your take? We have a little more than 6 months to go until primaries and caucuses begin. Do you think not having a clear frontrunner will hurt the Democratic Party right now, or is it still too early?
It's still early. I would say Biden is a front runner. I think he's a weak front runner. He doesn't really match the intensity and the enthusiasm of the Democratic primary electorate. He's too old, he's white, he's male, so that's, I guess, 3 strikes against him among Democrats. But he is in first place, and so the question is going to become how do these candidates perform in the early states. Look, Warren has had the best primary campaign of anyone. She's had really day after day, week after week, been building support, raising huge amounts of money without doing fundraisers. She has, more substantive plans out there than any other Democrat. And she stayed pretty positive. Biden has at times made mistakes. These gaffes continue. They raise questions about his ability to perform under pressure. He's not doing interviews. He's not doing that many events. They're kind of running a prevent defense effectively. Steve Kornacki had a great insight on Biden's support, and that is if you look at all the polls, voters over 50, Biden is in a strong position. Voters under 50, he's at like 6%. And so if it depends on what the Democratic primary electorate is going to look like in these early states. If the voters skew younger, that's going to hurt Biden.
Okay, we are out of time, but Matt, Abhi, thank you both for coming in and sharing your perspectives with us tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you.